Hello, hello, hello.
Hey,
Hello,
Brandon.
sir.
How are y'all doing?
Good, you?
Doing okay. It's definitely race time at Atlanta Motor Speedway. The pace is picking up, pardon the pun.
It must feel different. It must feel good this year.
It feels good, Joe, it does, but this will be the hardest race that we ever put on. Not only, so much is changing with COVID protocol, and I can't see y'all, so I might be looking in 10 different directions.
You're fine. No, you're good.
With the COVID protocols, and then every time you make a decision, everybody questions it. It gets scrutinized, and why didn't you do this? Or it's just difficult. Logistically, it's very difficult.
I understand. And that's part of the reason that we thought this might be a good opportunity for you to share those highlights. So I do see that Gary's got us live on Facebook, and there's a good 24 people sitting in the Zoom with us. So we'll go ahead and get started if y'all are ready.
Awesome.
So,
yeah.
All right. Thank you. It is 3:00 and we're going to start this week's Stakeholders Forum. And we're going to talk to Brandon Hutchison, General Manager out at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And my co-host today is Laura Turner, who is chair of the board for the Convention and Visitors Bureau here in Henry County. So welcome both of you, and thanks for joining us. I'm going
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me, Laura. It's good to see you too. Laura and I have known each other for quite some time. We've worked together on many different activities here at the Speedway and within the county. So good to see you, Laura.
Good to see you.
Yeah, I get that a lot when I have my co-host on here, whoever it is, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we go way back, Joe. We don't know you. Yeah, we don't want to talk to you. It's just So hopefully, I get to participate. I'm looking forward to it.
Brandon, new relationships are just as important as old relationships. So Joe, we're glad to have you as well. And listen, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
We're getting geared up for the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500, and things are getting quick. The pace is quickening around here.
Well, and that is great news. I know, last year was going to be my first AMS race, and what I got to see were the trucks leaving when it was called and that. So it wasn't that exciting. I'm hoping this year is more exciting.
Well, we certainly hope so too, Joe. We were the first facility to have to press pause when the pandemic started last year. So we knew on March 11th that something might be coming down the pike, but then we ultimately had to press pause on March 13th. So in reality, we haven't had fans in the stands for a NASCAR race at Atlanta Motor Speedway in 2 years. So hopefully your experience this year is a little bit better. It's sad to say that a lot of people got to see the same thing that you saw, Joe.
So I wasn't alone. Okay. All right. Hey, I know that everybody wants to talk about the Fold of Honor and everything coming up. But we kind of started with the two-year lull for you and the fans. And, I want to make sure that on behalf of the chamber and the community, we give you all proper respect and the thanks that you all deserve, because you didn't shut down for that year of 2020. You guys, if you were probably one of the local businesses that really stepped it up and changed what you were doing in order to meet those needs of the community. Can you kind of highlight some of those opportunities that you had? I know that there was everything from from testing to food drives, but you know more than I do.
Well, the staff here knows more than I do too. So sometimes I have to ask what exactly we are doing. But Joe, respect is earned, right? And as good community partners to everybody in the surrounding area, we want to make sure that we're doing everything that we possibly can to support where we can. It doesn't matter if it's a natural disaster or if it's a local community event or, if it's a pandemic. So we're not unlike any other business in the world. We had significant challenges, like we just talked about. We had to press pause in March, and obviously having to do that cost us a lot of money. We had to restructure our business model, and that meant reducing the size of our staff here. So we went through with a lot of the same things that everybody else did. But being part of this community 365 days a year. I told Mayor Ford this in our Zoom call not too long ago, that we're not just a business in this community. You know, we live in this community. I live in Henry County, so it's important to me that we're doing everything that we possibly can to be good community partners. And with all that being said, you're right. You know, we found opportunity where we could. We've partnered with the Atlanta Food Bank and the Henry County school system, local Hampton school system here. And we were able to feed thousands and thousands and thousands of families at the onset of the pandemic. We were able to partner with the American Red Cross and do multiple blood drives throughout the year. We had different community outreach programs throughout the year where we went over to Noah's Ark and had a cleanup day. We worked with the Henry County Water Authority, and we have reservoir cleanup days. And, you know, one of the most special things that we were able to do during the pandemic, if all of that other stuff wasn't rewarding enough, is we partnered with the Henry County school system.
Yeah.
And Dr. Davis and her team were the best possible partners that we could ask to work with. They made things so easy, but we were able to hand diplomas to the class of 2020. And you know, everybody knows how hard these kids work, and it's a goal that they set very early in life to graduate high school. So to be able to hand out diplomas was extremely rewarding. And as you also know, we've got a local chapter of the Atlanta Speedway Children's Charities, and we were able to raise a little bit of money and hand out funds to 17 different children's organizations this year. So, you know, we were busy at work trying to find ways to drive revenue in a different way, but also it was very important for us to come be a good community outreach partner throughout the whole thing.
Well, thank you. I know, you know, I just watching on social media, you could see the parents and the kids as they struggled through that last couple of months of their school year, and not, you know, not having a prom, not having graduation, not getting all of those experiences. But, you know, I tease Christy Tuning. She says that she is probably the only board chair for the chamber who didn't get to chair a meeting in person. And I correct her and remind her that she did get to chair it down at the state capitol. So she's probably the only chamber board chair that got to do that. So, you know, you get a little bit here and you get a little bit there. And so for these kids that were able to graduate at Atlanta Motor Speedway, you know, that's something that they're going to remember forever. So, you know, that's a wonderful opportunity for AMS to give back. So thank you for that.
Well, you're welcome. And I left out, you know, one of the most important things is now the vaccines. We just got off the phone yesterday morning with Sherry Matthews, Henry County manager, and Don Ash, the EMA director. And we're going to once again become a vaccination location starting next Tuesday. A lot of details obviously will come out from the county about how to sign up and how to get in line for a vaccination. But, you know, we're going to be able to do that as well. So we're happy to do that. And, you know, listen, Christy is a very, very smart, bright woman. So if she's feeling too bad about not being able to have an in-person meeting, maybe she could chair again sometime, and we'll give her that opportunity.
I would welcome that. She's a pleasure to work with. Absolutely. Absolutely. Laura, I know you were busy last week, and what were you doing?
Well, I was just going to say, no one has adapted to change quite like Atlanta Motor Speedway has with the types of events they've been able to bring to Henry County and the impact it's had on particularly our tourism business. But yeah, tell me about some of the events that y'all hosted this year. I was at the Publix Marathon out there this weekend, and it was great to see a real live event happening.
I'm ashamed to say, Laura, that I did not run the marathon. You know, it's been a bucket list.
I did not either, Brandon. I was there as a spectator.
It's been a bucket list item of mine forever, but I'm no spring chicken anymore. So I ride a bike now, and I can't jog quite as far. But yeah, you know, the pandemic has given us an opportunity to look at unconventional sources of revenue, and that's exactly what we've done. You know, we've been blessed to have opportunities. We parked 20,000 cars during the pandemic. You know, when nobody was renting cars, they needed a place to park them. But most recently, like you said, we just hosted the Atlanta Marathon and Atlanta Half Marathon. Obviously, we've got the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500 coming up in 2 weeks. We're excited about hosting a live event with fans in our grandstands. Immediately following that event, we bring in, I think it's 10,000 yards of dirt, and Feld Entertainment will build a supercross track. So we're going to be host of the Monster Energy Supercross events this year on April 10th, 13th, and 17th. Each night after the events, they'll come in and they will change the track. So each night we'll have a unique track, 3 different points nights for the best in Supercross. So that'll be fun for us. Immediately following that, we've got the Monster Jam. You know, families across Henry County and the Southern Crescent certainly know about Monster Jam and the joy that it brings to kids here once a year. We'll have that coming to town April 24th and the 25th. Immediately following that, we've got an American flat track motorcycle race, which is part dirt, part asphalt. They'll have a big jump, and it's very competitive. Those guys are the best in the world at what they do too, and that's the first weekend in May. We'll pull up the dirt and have 2 very long weeks to prepare for the class of 2021 and Henry County and Pike County graduations again. You know, I'm falling just a tick short of telling the guys we've put 20 pounds in a 10-pound sack. Now, how are we going to make it all work? But you know, we've got a lot of logistics experts in the building, so we'll make it all come out somehow or another. And then, of course, immediately following that, we've got the second stop of NASCAR in the state of Georgia this year with the Quaker State 400 presented by Walmart. So the first half of the year is as busy as we've had in the 26 years that I've been here. We're excited about it. If I'm being completely honest with you, we're a little bit nervous about it. But it'll be a lot of fun, an opportunity for Henry County residents to stay at home, not have to travel into town, and soak up as much entertainment as they possibly can right here in their backyard at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
So what will the race look like for the March race? I know the summer one's probably a little up in the air, but what can we expect?
Well, hopefully for the summer one, for the Quaker State 400 presented by Walmart, we'll be 100%, right? Hopefully millions and millions of people will have gotten the vaccine and the governor will lift restrictions. But Laura, that's a great question, and I'm glad you asked it. You know, we're so excited to be able to welcome fans back into the stands at Atlanta Motor Speedway, but we also understand that it's a massive responsibility. We take that responsibility very seriously, and we want to make sure that those that choose to come out here and see live sports have a peace of mind in knowing that we're going to do everything that we can to keep them and their families safe. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So you'll notice a lot of the same things that we've all grown accustomed to over the last year. Will require masks to enter the facility and to move about the facility. Will allow you to take off your mask when you get to your seat. Obviously, we're outdoors, open air. And we know at that point that the next closest party to you will be socially distanced because we have taken very seriously the governor's executive orders. We'll be socially distancing our grandstands, and that means we're at 35%. We'll be taking temperatures at the front gates. We'll be asking guests if they've had any contact with COVID. And again, the 4 or 5 questions we're all used to answering at this point. We'll have additional hand wash stations. We'll have additional hand sanitizing stations. We'll have plexiglass between our customers and our concession workers, between our customers and our souvenir workers. We're going cashless, so less human-to-human contact. And then we're stepping up our cleaning to make sure that we're doing everything within our power to keep the condiment tables as clean as possible, the restrooms as clean as possible, the handrails as clean as possible, the concession souvenir platforms as clean as possible. So I could go on. You'll see the stickers, keep socially distanced. You'll have stalls marked off in the restroom. So again, all of this is a massive undertaking for us. It doesn't come without expense, but at the same time, we want to make sure that we're giving everybody that chooses to come out here the peace of mind and knowing we're doing everything we can to keep them and their families safe.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Hey, I forgot, I was so excited to have the conversation that I forgot to let everybody know that if you're following us in Zoom, feel free to put questions or comments into the chat. And if you are following us on Facebook Live, we'll be following your comments along there as well. If you have any questions or anything that we don't get to, we'll be happy to follow up. Brandon, there's a note in the chat right now that Jeff Foxworthy will be on Sunday before the race. Is that correct?
Have we announced that yet? So yes,
You just did, I guess.
I'm excited to announce. I'm excited to announce that our pre-race entertainment will be none other than Georgia's own Jeff Foxworthy. You know, Jeff Foxworthy not only is one of the best comedians that I've known in my lifetime, but he has a personality that just jives with everybody that he meets. He's been on, as you know, he's been the host of Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader, which, by the way, apparently I'm not. You know, he had an American Bible game show at one point in the early 2000s. You know, he has the ability for our race fans to love him, but to be able to still make fun of the redneck segment of the world, one of which I probably am a little bit, but just being born and raised in Georgia. But, you know, he hopefully will be a great addition to our entertainment package, and our fans will have a good time. Come on out, see Jeff Foxworthy, see a NASCAR race. It's a close to home day of entertainment for hopefully a lot of people that are watching us today.
Well, and I think, Brandon, that's the key. It's not just a race. You don't just show up for the race and watch the race and then you go home. I mean, it's entertainment. It's a day packed full of a little bit of something for everybody.
Well, we like to think of ourselves as experts on putting on car races, as well as large events. And with large events, you want to make sure that you're entertaining everybody. You know that everybody in the car may not love what they're coming to see. So if we can throw in entertainment and other aspects for everybody, then that's what we want to do. Our business is working for the fans. So we try to make sure that we put forth as much effort as we can to provide entertainment. And while the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500 in a couple of weeks will look a little different, it's not going to be a normal race experience. I wouldn't be being honest with you if I told you it was, but I can tell you that we're doing everything within our power to make sure that we provide entertainment. We've got drink rails we've added. We've got drink holders that we've added. We've added the Bootleggers Bar, which is a massive 360 bar that people can grab a drink and watch a race at the same time. We've upgraded our technology on concourse. We've added phone charging stations throughout concourse. We've expanded the Wi-Fi in Bruton Smith Park. We've renamed the Winners Grandstand to the Johnson Grandstand in honor of seven-time champion, newly retired Jimmy Johnson. So the fans of the 48 will love to have the opportunity to be the first to sit in that grandstand. We're going to have our fan zone back open. The merchandise trailers will be here. So it'll be a little bit less of an experience than it would be on a normal race weekend, but we're working hard to make sure we do everything we can to provide entertainment.
The one thing I didn't hear, and I think I did hear it on one of your previous conversations that you had, was the camping.
Yeah, absolutely. Good point. You know, my answers are so long-winded. I apologize.
You're fine.
I hope you can tell.
We're all dying to know what's going on. So we're taking everything you give us and we're soaking it up.
I'm excited about race weekend, so I apologize. But yeah, great question, Joe. Our campgrounds are open. We are limiting our campgrounds to RVs with self-contained restrooms only. And the only reason we're doing that is because, going back to safety protocol and how seriously we take it, we can't open our large shower and restroom facilities because I, as the general manager of the Speedway, know that we can't keep them as clean as we would need to give you the peace of mind and knowing that you're safe. So we've got to close those down, which means no tent camping, no pop-up camping. We are opening our exterior campgrounds for RVs. We're opening our trackside terrace and trackside turn 1 campgrounds for RVs. And we're able to open half of our infield to RVs as well. So I'm glad you asked the question. Hopefully people will come out here and spend the weekend with us. Campgrounds open Thursday evening of race week at 5 o'clock. So you can come out, start camping with us Thursday night and stay till Monday morning.
Wonderful. And the website for any of this information, if they've missed it or they want tickets or anything, where can they go?
Yeah, they can go to atlantamotorspeedway.com. That's the best and easiest way to reach out to us and take a look at what options are available. They can call 8779-AMS-TIX if they wanted to talk to a ticket agent live. I can tell you that tickets are in hot demand. So if you want to come see us, you better call now. You better get your tickets. We will absolutely sell out. But the good news is, as we sell out, we've got the Quaker State 400 presented by Walmart coming up July 10th through 11th, and fans can come see that too. So now I'm sounding a little bit like a racetrack guy, getting my sponsors in there, so I apologize.
Well, I saw some great deals for kids and families were posted. It's really economical, it seems like, to bring the families out for that. So that'll be great.
What a natural promoter, Laura. You're right. Ticket, listen, I come from a blue collar family in North Georgia. And when I took this seat, I wanted to make sure that we did everything within our power to make sure that we had price points that could fit every demographic. And kids tickets are free on Saturday. Kids don't have to pay a thing to be here while tickets last. And it's going to be for a very short period of time. Kids tickets are only $10 for Sunday. You can get all 5 races that encompass both race weekends, the March and July race weekend, for less than $100. You can get tickets for all 5 races for $98. Saturday tickets for this race are $40. So listen, get online, atlantamotorspeedway.com. Please come and see us. We're in your backyard. We'd love to have you, and a lot to do here. If you miss race weekend, don't forget about Supercross and Monster Jam.
Well, before we leave the NASCAR discussion, I did want to ask, after the July race, I hear y'all got some improvements, some stuff happening out there that race fans will be excited about.
Well, our track turns 24 this year, and I don't mean the track turns 24 years old. I mean the racing surface. We last repaved in 1997, so we know that sooner rather than later, we're going to have to repave the track. Were it not for the hard work of our operations department, we would have had to repave a long time ago, but we're keeping a close eye on it. We're focused on getting the next 2 races under our belts, and then who knows? We'll see what happens later on in the year.
Thank you. So as we move, we talk about you being entertainment. As we move out of the races and the marathons and that, it always comes back around to a casino resort and the opportunity that you all have as an entertainment venue. And there's a few questions that are showing up now that want to know when it's going to be built, and any updates on that. And if you would, I know that HR 30 is still out there. It's there's thousands of pieces of legislation that are in the General Assembly this week, and we're 15 days away from it being over for session. But can you tell us a little bit more about the process and the benefits and different things like that around HR 30, but especially the fact that this is still something that we need to get to step A before we could move any further, I think is some of the confusion that we have out in the community.
No, I appreciate you asking, Joe, and you're exactly right. It would be putting the cart before the horse, so to speak, a little bit if I even tried to speculate on when we're going to start construction. There's a long way to go before that. But, if I did have my crystal ball and I could foresee things, I would hope that construction would start sooner rather than later. But the reality is we're still at step A. And, House Resolution 30 did make it out of committee yesterday. It's now at rules, and the Rules Committee will take a look at it, and hopefully it'll pass out of rules and get to the floor for a vote in the House here real soon. Crossover, as you know, is coming up, and it's important that we at least get it out of one side. But I will say this, there is more momentum now than there ever has been, at least in the time that I've been working on it with a guy so well, Ed Clark, who's been working on it for our company. So we're very optimistic that it's going in the right direction. They actually brought all 3 pieces of legislation into Resolution 30. So now it is casino gambling, parimutuel betting on horse racing, and sports betting. So The three components of those, the sports betting piece would go to help fund HOPE and needs-based scholarships, as I understand it here today. And the horse racing and casino gambling would go towards healthcare, which is a much needed aspect and something that I think can bring both sides together. You know, there are a lot of rural areas that could use a lot of healthcare. There's Medicaid that could be extended. There's just a lot of stuff that could be done if this gets through. But right now, the important thing is that people reach out to their local legislators and say, hey, you know, I, as a citizen of the state of Georgia in your district, would like for you to vote yes, so that we can vote on whether we as the state of Georgia's citizens want casino gambling, sports betting, and pari-mutuel betting on horse racing or not. And that's really all that we're asking, is that we get it out, let the people vote on it in 22. So if that were to happen, then what we're looking for is the ability to construct an entertainment district, a destination resort. So we're not interested at all in a single standalone brick and mortar casino. That's not what we want. Right. We're an entertainment facility and we want a destination. We think that not only would it help us at Atlanta Motor Speedway and our business model, obviously we're in business to make money just like everybody else, but we know that with the infrastructure in place here, it's a great site to build such a destination location. We're talking about a hotel, we're talking about retail, we're talking about something that would be similar to maybe a Top Golf, entertainment such as a water park, amusement park, amphitheater, other rooftop options. And all of that would bolster the economy of the state of Georgia. It would bolster the economy in Henry County greatly. It would check so many of the boxes that us as Henry Countyans seek right now, and that's additional business in Henry County. It's not having to get on that dang interstate and drive north and sit in traffic to and from work. It would create thousands and thousands of jobs here in Henry County. The infrastructure that comes with these facilities typically will bolster your fire and first aid and police protection. You know, these are massive, massive undertakings, and this is about a $1 billion+ destination resort location that we're talking about, and think that it would benefit all of Henry County, all of the state of Georgia. And trust me, again, I've got a family in Henry County. If I didn't think that this was something that would be good for our company and good for our county, I wouldn't want just the opportunity to vote on it. So that's what we're asking for, people to reach out to their legislators, let them know to vote yes. And maybe in 22, we can vote as a county and vote as a state, whether we want it or not.
No, and I appreciate that. I think that, you know, with the public hearings last, gosh, I guess it was over a year ago now, as they were rolling those out throughout the state and hearing from people, there was a huge turnout in Henry County. And it really was about the jobs. It was the job creation, first and foremost, for those that were in attendance. And so I appreciate that. I appreciate the quick wrap up. I just want to stress to anybody that sees this today or in the future that really right now the key is to get it out of the House. It's a House resolution. Crossover day, I believe, is Monday, so we've got to get it moved and into the other House by then. And the quickest way we can get that done is just to call on your state rep in Atlanta and encourage them, because all we're asking is it's the request to make a constitutional amendment. It goes on the ballot. It's an up or down vote from the citizens of Georgia to decide whether or not that happens. And so that's all we're asking, is that question is asked of the citizens. That's where we're at right now. So very
well said, Joe. Very well.
Well, I am passionate about it, sir. I am passionate about it. Give the voters the question and let them decide where they're going with it. So absolutely. Right. Laura, any final thoughts, any final questions?
No final questions. Just on behalf of the tourism side of things, we're just so grateful for the last year and for all of your community partnership that you have. I think there's a lot that people don't know that go on at AMS, but also that y'all do as contributors to this community. So just thankful for that partnership and really proud to have Atlanta Motor Speedway in our backyard.
Well, thank you for that, Laura. And we're proud to be in this community. And I would tell everybody watching and encourage you, think about race weekend as an opportunity for the businesses of Henry County, not just Atlanta Motor Speedway. You know, the Interstate 75 runs through Henry County 365 days a year. And there are people who will be here race weekend that are also going to and from Florida throughout the rest of the year. And if we make great impressions while they're here for the race, if we make sure that we make them feel welcome while they're here, well, guess what? They're coming down 75 at some point throughout the year, making choices of where they're going to sleep, where they're going to eat, where they're going to use the restroom, where they're going to get fuel. The more we can do to make race fans feel welcome while they're here for the race, the better the opportunity for us to get them off the interstate back into our community to spend money other times of the year. And I know that's a shameless plug, but it's really a shameless plug for all of Henry County business to, you know, the best way to gain more business is to treat your customers right. Let them know that you appreciate them being here. And if we do that in a couple of weeks, who knows? Maybe we'll get them off that interstate at another time, make a little bit more money, and that's good for all of us.
That is so well said. First, I want to echo what Laura said and kind of go a little bit further. And I think that I appreciate your time today and the history and the story behind what you all are doing, because I think there's a few of us in the county and the community that see it as a racetrack that does one thing once a year and that's it. And I think you sharing with us the last half hour plus on what you all do and how you community partner is just a wonderful opportunity to get that out to others to see what an asset you and the Speedway are in Henry County. So thank you to that and to your team. I think I'm going to take your shameless plug and I'm going to be even more shameless. And I'm going to put in there, this was not a topic about East-Blost or Splost or any of that. But when you look at that penny tax, and you have these people coming in and visiting, passing through, however they're getting around Henry County, and they're buying things, that is a penny tax that they're paying for what we get to benefit from. So it saves us our property taxes, it saves us in other taxes. And so the more we can make them welcome, the more they're spending here and the more we're benefiting from that. So that being said, I'm done. I'm off the tax thing now. But you know, I think that there's always that misconception from a lot of the residents that this is an additional tax, and these are already there, but we're not the only ones paying for them. These are from visitors as well. So, you know, one other thing, as we wrap up, I want to encourage those businesses that are out there, and heck, if you're a homeowner along the way and you've got a front yard, you know, look around, find that piece of paper, find a sheet, whatever it is, and welcome the racetrack, race fans back. You know, this means a lot to them to be able to come back. It means a lot to us as a community to be able to host this again. And this year, as Brandon said, we've got 2 races that we get to host. So, you know, there's a lot of opportunity. Let's make sure that we show our appreciation for them visiting Henry County and attending these races, because it does, as Brandon says, it means a lot. It gets them back if they feel comfortable, and that is Henry County. We welcome people. Let's be friendly about it. So yeah,
let's show out big at home. You can't be big away from home if you're not big at home. So
that's right.
I would just appreciate everybody supporting the race with whatever you could do. And listen, Joe, I appreciate you and Laura having me today. You know, your leadership at the chamber is strong. It's appreciated and it's recognized. So thank you very much. And Laura, your leadership within the CVB, your leadership with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, you know, you do great things for this company or for this county, and I just greatly appreciate both of you for having me. And hey, let's do it again tomorrow.
Hey, I think we need to have Brandon back all the time. I mean,
I do too. I'm just, you know what, I'm going to keep him on speed dial, and when I'm having a bad day, I'm just going to call him up and go, dude, I'm having a bad day.
Well, listen, thank you all very much. And for those that took the time out of their day to listen, you know, I'm appreciative of that too. Everybody's time is very valuable, and I'm just grateful to have the opportunity to promote Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Well, I thank you both for your time today. And Brandon, always a pleasure talking to you. And I'm sure we'll follow back up later in the summer and hear how things are going as we head into the second race. So hopefully connect at that point.
Thank you very much, Joe. I'll talk to both of you soon.
All right. Thank you all. Thank you all for joining us, and stay tuned. We'll have more stakeholders next week. Thank you.